Now boarding Solo Flight with Nicole Anderson. Welcome back to Solo Flight Podcast. Today's episode is a good one, although maybe quite ridiculous. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a little bit. Today we have another friend who needs no introduction. You guys can see from the title, we have Jasmine Curtis Smith on the episode today. We cover quite a lot of topics in this one. You guys requested a longer episode, so here you go. We talk about what it's like to be living alone and then making that transition to then living with a partner. She also shares some funny domestic mistakes that she had to learn the hard way, so do I. But what I really applaud her for is her ability to recognize when she has to deal with her ego. And we touch a little bit more on that subject, as well as having to deal with trolls and negative people in our lives. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to having toxic people and dealing with toxic behaviors. We touch on that as well. But one thing I think we can all relate with is what it feels like and the pressures you have to deal with when you're being compared to your siblings or your coworkers or your cousins. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who her sister is, and so those are some big shoes to fill. So she gets candid about what that's like and what toll that takes on her. Also, guys, as you're listening along, you're gonna hear a lot of squeals. I couldn't help myself. We got too excited as we were recording. Part of it felt like a big catch up, and we forgot, I think, that we were recording a podcast at some points. So I'm already gonna give a disclaimer ahead of time. I'm gonna try to do my best to not do that next time, but you know, we were just really living in the moment. So I hope it doesn't bother you guys. And yeah, without further ado, here's my episode with Jasmine. Okay, guys, we are now rolling. Welcome back to Solo Flight Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. She is hype ko lang yung friend ko ng konti. She is an award-winning actress. Whoa! As in confetti.
Kakasabi ko lang, hindi need. Pero go.
Award-winning actress, gorgeous, talented, all around, lahat na. And also one of my good friends, of course, with us is Jasmine Curtis Smith.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Jazz. Welcome to Solo Flight Podcast.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Number one na to, and then it's just gonna keep on the number one spot,
wow.
I feel, on Spotify in the next few months and years. Kaya talaga.
Dahil nandito ka.
Kaya siya I feel ito yan. This is the episode that will bring you there.
Okay. Well, salamat naman na nag-grace mo ako
You're
sa
welcome.
presence. Okay, Jazz, I posted on IG stories and a few people have some questions for us, but let's make chica a little bit before we get into the questions. So first of all, how do we know each other? Like, how do we become friends?
I was, I think, 14.
Like,
13?
3 years ago.
Yeah. Ganun lang. Hindi naman halata, right?
Hindi halata.
I feel ganun pa rin yung itsura namin. And I think, dinala ko ni ate sa isa sa mga hangouts ninyo as a group because bumibisita ako here.
Yeah.
Over a summer vacation, I think. In Australia was summer, but here it was December.
Oh.
So, I think it was just one of those
I think we just literally just
hung
met.
out,
And then
dinner
hit it off. Yeah.
or something and just hit it off. We were the young part
the
of
young
the group.
part. Actually, that was part of my speech, diba, in jazz.
Yeah.
In jazz tuloy.
Wala
pa tayo doon.
Wala pa tayo. Wait, Loreen.
Guys, may a-announce na ba tayo?
Nauna si Loreen. Uy, wala.
Hindi.
Wait.
In Loreen's wedding, that was part of
Yeah.
my speech na because originally, my barkada talaga was Liz, Mond, and Anne.
Yes.
And then lahat sila, they're like, Nicole, kailangan mo ng kaedad mo. Kaya,
True.
Yun. Kaya pinasok yung mga bunso or yung mga kapatid. Mga bagets.
That's our group. The
Yeah.
baguettes.
That's
Yeah.
actually what still are.
Yes!
Wow, in denial.
Kasi technically, we are still the baguettes of the group.
Of the
naman.
group, yes. Okay, wait, can I make amen something?
What?
Since you said na you were gonna guest and then you were gonna be part, kasi nga, behind the scenes kanina, Jazz and I were joking na ako nag-set up lahat ng lights.
Pati itong mic ko.
Itong mic stand. So, ito naaamin na ako.
Ano?
Binili ko yan for you kahapon. Wala.
Tama.
Wala ko niyan kahapon.
Ay, See, this is why magna-number 1 tong
Wow!
podcast na to. Ito yun.
Meron na tayong boomstar.
Yes! Nagpo-progress. Every episode, nako, meron ka ng cameraman sa next episode.
Sana, guys, kung gusto nyo mag-sponsor ng podcast para naman may budget pang cameraman.
Tama.
Yung mga tipong, this episode is brought to you by, diba? Okay. Anyway, so yan, enjoyin mo. Kasi sabi ko, baka mangawit siya kapag ganito.
Hindi naman ako choosy. Pero, saka pwede naman tong ilapel dito kung gusto mo. Ang laki!
Ang bigat! So, Jazz, what have you been busy with now? I know you've been taping a lot, right? And guys, actually, not a lot
1 year na.
Yeah, 1 year na. And not a lot of people know this about Jazz. Yes, ako, nakikita nyo kasi I'm vlogging, ganyan. Strong, independent girly din si Jazz because laking Australia yan.
Yes.
So, guys, siya ang nagda-drive herself before to taping mag-isa. And then, how far yung taping mo?
Usually, my locations are nasa Rizal, so mga an hour away, 1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
May mga days na nasa Subic kami, so 3 hours.
Oo.
And then,
Ikaw mag-isa magda-drive,
ako
papunta
lang
doon.
mag-isa mag-drive
Tapos,
talaga.
ang buhay taping, puyatan yan.
Puyatan, 18 hours.
So, uuwi ka ng 3 hours pa.
3 hours pa.
Matapos kang mapuyat-puyat.
Iba pa yung biyahe mo.
Oo.
Iba pa yun.
May kasama ka sa car? Or
Me lang.
So, how do you keep yourself awake aside from listening to Solo Flight?
Yes! Aside from Nicole's Solidified podcast, syempre, I have to keep myself awake. So, what I do is, I usually listen to, like, musical albums.
Okay.
Like Wicked and,
So you like will go through the whole act, like act 1 until end.
the whole musical. As
Okay.
in, and may isa akong character na I have to portray
Ay,
while
so-
I'm driving.
So, sino ka sa Wicked?
Ako si Alphaba.
Okay.
I'm
Kasi
the
ako,
green
I'm very
character.
Galinda.
Perfect
Diba?
ka doon. Oo.
Okay,
So,
okay.
ilang beses tayo nag-appear kaya in this podcast?
I know. Parang, okay, sige.
Hindi na counter.
Hindi, i-challenge natin yung sarili
Not to.
natin. Okay, walang
Okay,
appear.
okay.
Okay. Na-excite kasi tayo.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No, because I haven't seen you in so long also.
Yeah.
So, yan, going back to it, I'm usually Alphaba in Wicked. And then, I'll listen to Hamilton.
Okay.
And then, I'll be one of the Skylar sisters. Or...
That's fun.
Yeah. Kasi ang saya
Oo.
Ang saya ng... Or I'm the 3 of them.
Yun nga, sasabihin ko sana,
Actually-
mas magigising ka kung sinasagot mo yung sarili mo.
Oo.
Yung, look around. Tama? Oo, tapos sasagot ka. Ay, hala, kaka-fear lang natin. Fail na
I'm
tayo.
sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
Diyan ka lang.
Okay. Barrier.
Okay.
But those are the things that keep me up. Or like super, super heavy, like emo rock albums. Like My Chemical Romance, the Black Parade album. So
Okay.
talagang I'm also singing
Sumisigaw
along.
ka
Oo,
sa
feel
car.
na feel ko. Kasi if it's dancey, after a while I get
Mapapagod ka. Pagod ka na nga.
Feel ko ako si Taylor Swift.
Like, 3 hours?
Pagod akong Rihanna.
Eras tour.
Ang hirap, you know.
Oo.
So, those are the things that keep me up. Otherwise, like, talagang patatagan na lang to hanggang makauwi.
True.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And also, there was a time, I mean, you were also living alone.
Yeah.
Diba? Similarly. And I think a lot of our listeners,
Yes.
a lot of our listeners also live alone. And we actually have a lot of listeners from Australia and New Zealand who chimed in.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
shout
it
to
out.
everyone down under.
Hey, Aussies. Yes.
Okay, so how long have you like been on your own? I know you mentioned recently that you and Jeff have live-in na.
Yeah.
But before living with Jeff, how long was the time where you had your own place and you were staying alone?
Started living alone, I think I was 19 or
Yeah.
20.
Which is considerably in our culture is quite young.
Yeah.
Diba?
Quite young.
For
It's not common for people to move out. Yeah,
Yes.
from the family
In
homes.
Australia and in Sweden, it's normal 18, 17
Yeah.
people move out now, right?
Yeah.
But 19, that's quite young for Manila standards. What was the biggest adjustment for you living alone?
I think for me kasi I was very I was very protected or secured in a way that my manager at the time was taking care of a lot of the like admin things for me.
Okay.
Or if there were things that I needed to do and address, like my bank and all that, there was still that layer of
Help.
help.
Yeah.
But then there was a point in that living alone where I felt like I needed to own that and
Yeah.
have that sense of agency, I guess, with like everything that belonged to me and that
Yeah.
I was working for. So the biggest struggle was really owning it.
Oo,
Kasi
one by one.
Oo
Yeah.
one by one. At first, it's exciting. You're like, oh my gosh, everything's new.
And the freedom.
The freedom.
Up, huwag tayo mag-appear.
Up.
Up.
The
Okay.
freedom. Kasi I
Yeah.
don't live in Ata's apartment anymore.
Yeah.
So parang, or I don't live with my mom anymore.
Di mo na
so,
kailangan magpaalam. Uwi ako ng
curfew,
1 a.m., mga
walang
ganon. Oo.
Mga reporting. So talagang parang, when that was slowly nagma-minus na one by one from my normalness,
Oo.
it was weird for me because I loved the feeling of may nagbabantay, may nag-check up on me.
Gusto mo yun? Ako ayoko.
Nung nawala na siya, parang hinanap ko siya.
Na-miss mo.
Yeah,
Okay.
na-miss ko siya. But I'm glad it's done. Like, I think it was just more of like, shucks, this is it. Like, I get to decide what I'm eating tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, I got tired of deciding. And I was like, pwede
Yeah.
bang I live with my ate na lang? Tas it's
Nakakapagod
what's for
siya.
dinner tomorrow?
After
Yun,
a while,
oo.
may struggle din siya.
May struggle din siya. Kasi, ikaw lang din talaga at ikaw lang ang mag-aalaga sa sarili mo.
Totoo.
So, if you don't get up, like, if you don't cook, we're lucky we get to book cleaners,
Yeah.
book, grab
Well,
food.
now lang yan.
Delivery
Recently,
food, oo.
yeah.
Now lang yon.
Yeah.
But there was a time pa na hindi rin yun available when I was
Tama.
living alone. So parang, yun, making
Yung
time to make time for everything.
Was there ever a time naman where, like, you had a mini fail as living alone? Like, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
When I first was in the dorm, hindi kasi uso sa atin, well, for me, growing up, hindi uso yung mag-washing machine tayo. Di ba usually, sanay tayo, you grow up, your parents are helping you or your
Correct.
parents do your laundry for you. So when I went to the dorms, girl, I ruined like 3 batches of laundry. Lahat ng white ko, naging pink.
Oh no.
Kasi hinalo ko yung
my
red.
gosh.
Yung mga ganon.
Wala pa naman.
Wala kang ganon?
Okay. Washing machine related din siya na I was cleaning the washing machine.
Okay.
So, there's a part of it sa ilalim na pag tinanggal mo siya...
Yung tube. Yung may hose.
Yung may hose. And
Oh.
you unscrew it, right? And you're meant to put yung hose part into parang a planggana or
Yeah.
near
Like
where
a
the water
balde.
strains.
Yeah.
I didn't. And then...
Oh, wait,
my
you just
gosh.
left it?
No. Hindi ko alam kung anong mangyayari kasi.
Yeah.
Akala ko baka konti lang or baka ang makukuha ko lang is yung mga na-stuck na fur
Or mga lint.
or
Oo.
whatever. Pagbukas ko ng ganun, nag-flood yung buong floor.
Oh
As
my
in,
God.
hindi ko alam anong gagawin ko. So, parang, alam mo yung nagpapanik ka, saan yung basahan? Ang dami kong hinahanap. Tapos, naalala ko na lang, tinawag ko si Jeff. I'm like, B, come down, come down. Tapos, tumingin lang siya. He's like, what happened? And I'm like,
Wait, imagine like, award-winning actress, pero nagpa-flood yung floor.
anong gagawin ko? And I'm like, parang 1 year pa lang kami ni Jeff living in. And I'm like, dead man na, keeping it cool. Pero talagang panic ko nun kasi, syempre, it was also going underneath the washing machine.
Yoy, isa pa yun,
So,
oo.
di ba, parang
Or baka may makuryente.
yun. Or, I don't know, it just might go somewhere else and flood into my kitchen. So, yun yung mga takot ko nun na parang, oh, shucks, parang ano bang katangan to? Why did I not read the manual? Nandun lang din naman yung manual.
But I think those are the memories or those are the moments where parang you have to go through them because then you learn. You learn
Yeah.
through experience.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Like ngayon,
Oo.
alam na natin.
Or ito, di ba, parang, I don't know if when you moved in here, yung faucet ng sink, ng kitchen sink, parang in the standard ng developer ng mga units na to, may ini-install sila na standard na faucet. And I lived there for like 5-7 years.
Okay.
May bumisita akong friend. Tapos, naghugas siya ng pinggan ko.
Okay.
Hinugot niya. Di ba parang it's like this, tas
Oo,
you can
parang
pull it
tanggalin,
out, and
para
then make
maging
it,
hose.
Oo,
Oh.
parang hose siya. Tinignan ko talaga siya na, 7 years akong nandito, hindi ko alam, pwedeng gamitin niya ng ganyan. Like, yung parang disbelief ko na ang tanga ko, or parang, how did no one ever tell me this before I moved in? Ang amazement ko lang that my
Dapat kasi
faucet
merong
could do that. May manual.
house tour.
So,
Okay.
yun, hindi naman siya fail, pero parang, oh my God.
May nadidiscover ka pa rin. Okay.
You know, it's like, with your partner or with your friends in life, like, kala mo kilala mo na, may bago ka palang personality
marami
today.
tayong share. Marami tayong share sa ganyan.
So, yun.
Okay, so nabanggit mo na you and Jeff nga have been living in for a little bit, right? And I want to compare experience. I want to say who.
Yeah.
But I want to compare experiences because I think it works for some people, but it also doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what was the biggest adjustment from living alone to then living with your partner?
Sharing a lot of time together. Like, your rest time is also together.
Okay.
So I think that the being intentional about when you need your solo rest, like,
I just need to disconnect.
Yeah. Even from you. Yung
Yeah.
ganon. And it's not, parang please don't take offense.
Yeah.
It's one of those things lang na nagulat ako that kailangan din pala yun.
Paano mo na-realize?
Um,
Sobrang na-burnout ka na lang. You're
Oo,
like,
parang-
hindi ko na kaya.
wait lang
Oo.
Parang alam mo yung, it's something that doesn't tick you off, but for that day, you're just like, gusto ko lang mag-toothbrush.
1 second
Yung
lang.
ganon. Parang napatingin siya sa akin, what did I do? And I'm like, gusto ko lang mag-toothbrush. Please. Like, mamaya ka na mag-toothbrush. Ako muna.
So how did you guys deal with that conversation? Kasi some people, ma-offend sila sa ganun, na parang, you don't wanna be next to me 24/7? What does that mean? Patingin na phone mo. Sino ka text mo?
Ganon.
Ganon.
Parang, umiiwas ka ba or something? But this one, parang with Jeff, I think I'm very lucky na with him, he gets it because also personality-wise, I'm the type of person that has a very small social battery.
Yes.
So, you know,
Yes.
I do better with one-on-ones, or I go out very seldom, and when I do, it's usually for an event or a birthday or any special occasion. I think he was able to understand it very easily because of that personality trait of mine. So, alam niyang hindi siya parang, ay, may ginawa ako.
It's not personal.
Oo.
Yeah. Actually, what's cute in your dynamic is Jeff is the super extrovert.
Yeah.
And you're the introvert. Pero ikaw yung artista.
Ang labo, diba?
Oo.
But it works because then he helps me recharge so
Yes.
that I can be an extrovert when I need to be. Or with him also, I can pull him in and be like, uwi na tayo. Ilang beses ka na
3
nagbabay.
a.m. na, tama na.
Oo. Mga 1 a.m. pa lang tayo nagbababay. 3 a.m. na, humaba ang topic. So, you know, it helps us keep each other in check. Pero, yun nga, grabe. Grabe yung hilaan din. Kasi magkaibang end ng spectrum of, I get tired, girl.
True. And
yeah.
I've seen this because there was a time where pilay na pilay ako. Sinalo niyo ako ni Jeff.
Yes.
Diba? And people don't know this. There was a time na I think we were just, or I was going through a breakup. Tama ba? I was, right? Yeah. I was going through a breakup and I was so pilay na pilay. Sabi ko, Jeff, the next time you guys go to LU, sama niyo ako. Kahit wag niyo ako kailangan ko lang maiba ng scenery. Kahit doon lang ako sa likod. Para niyo akong anak. Diba?
They're real na
Sobra.
anak na andun lang. As in, tahimik ka lang nun actually. We were just doing nothing.
Tulala kasi ako, girl.
Oo.
Broken hearted.
Oo.
So I was literally like, kung ano yung kina-extrovert ko na wala lahat.
ibang Nicole yung nakita ko nun. As in, I have to face the camera and say this. It wasn't Nicole Anderson with us nung panahon na yun.
Wasak Anderson.
Wasak Anderson, nagbalik. Nagbalik na.
Oo. Pero, okay, so let's bring, before that story, we'll bring it back to the living in muna. So, what naman would you say is the perks of living in?
What you need from each other can be communicated faster, and for me, we can address what we don't like about each other faster.
Yeah. Kasi wala nang, parang, I need space muna. Tapos, 2 days na kayo hindi nag-uusap.
Oo,
walang ganon.
walang ganon.
Wala nang choice eh.
Walang
Kasi
choice.
pag tulog, katabi mo na.
Yun na yun.
Yes.
Actually, naging point of conversation to kagabi. At dinner with Ate, Solen, Nico was also there, Erwan.
Yeah, okay.
And they're like, can you sleep if magkagalit kayo?
Okay.
Lalo na yung...
What did everyone vote?
So, there's always one. There was one in each relationship that was like, yeah, I can sleep ng mahimbing. And then there's always the other. In each one in all couples kagabi. And I was like, yeah, I'm the one that will not sleep.
Did you notice a trend where it was always the girls who can't sleep? Because I feel like Solen can sleep.
Solen can sleep.
Yeah.
Nico cannot.
Yeah. I think
Ate
Anne
can sleep.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
And then, parang mas si Erwan daw yung parang nag-iisip about it. So, I was like, really?
So, ikaw yung can't sleep.
Can't sleep.
So, paano kayo kapag may argument? Ayusin natin to. Ganon?
You know, no din. Hindi rin kami yung tipong bago tayo matulog, kailangan maayos. Because there have been so many moments. As much as ako gusto ko yun.
Yeah.
I have learned to let go when I know my ego is at an all-time high.
Okay, so this is a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that you brought that up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people listening can resonate with kahit it doesn't even have to be live-in with a partner. Pwedeng barkada rin, friends. I'm sure pwede rin kapag when you live with your sibling in one house,
yes.
diba?
Oh, egos
ego
will
yan.
take turn.
So, how do you know, paano mo na-identify sa sarili mo na, oh wait, ego ko to?
Kasi ang liit ng mga rason.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pag petty, tas lumalaki.
Lumalaki, or parang, why do I not just address it properly? Instead, I'll be childish about it, or raise my tone. Or alam mo yon. And then, si Jeff kasi, yung tendency niya is, he'll know when I'm being petty, and when I'm raising my tone, being naghahanap away. Alam niya na. Alam na niya.
It's aminado ka minsan naghanap ka na away.
Yeah. Aminado ako.
Okay.
I have that, lalo na because I think that's what I do when
Parang gusto mo lang magpapansin or magpalambing.
Oo,
Yeah.
palambing. It's my trait with my mom and my brother. So, yung mga sobrang zero level of like discomfort or uncertainty na tao, ganun ako.
Okay.
Yung parang hanggang mapikon, or I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But I love to just try and push a button with them.
So, dahil, ang tagal yun, how long na?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Dahil kilala ka niya, how does he react when he knows that she just wants to make palambing or petty lang to? Like,
He'll be quiet. He'll be quiet and he'll just take it. He'll listen.
really?
Yeah. Alam mo.
What's
and
that
then,
like?
Ay!
Oh God!
Alam mo.
Joke lang. Joke
It's an
lang.
experience. I'll tell you all about it. No, pero alam mo, yun yung nakaka-guilty na part. Kasi ikaw, you keep talking and then this person's just like, okay. And
Hindi
then,
niya pinapatulan.
walang patol, walang sagot, okay lang.
I think one way to put that is he's not adding fuel.
Yeah.
So, nawawala yung flame kasi hindi niya dinadagdagan. So, you're like, gano'n ko katagal ko masustain? Hirap di mo ako pinapatulan.
The fire is getting smaller until I'm like, damn, it's just ego. The thoughts start to change and shift na, okay, nainis ako sa kanya. Let's say like, he didn't wash the dishes.
Okay.
And he said he was gonna wash it. And I went to taping. Umuwi na ako.
Yeah.
Puyat pa ako. Ay, hindi pa rin. Tulog.
Oo.
Sarap.
Tas ang himbin ng tulog niya.
Yung ganun. And then I'm like, I'll take it to bed with me. And then in the morning, I'm like, diba? And then
Pagising, walang good morning.
Walang good morning.
Yung dishes.
Andun na ako agad. I'm in the kitchen waiting. So, parang, he'll be like, he'll just be like that, you know. And then I'm like, okay, I told him the problem. He's addressing it.
Yeah.
Why am I still mad? And then I'll parang pick on him about other things. Tapos, he'll find the
All
way
of a sudden, mapapansin mo na ibang stuff sa house.
Yeah.
Kahit nagsimula sa dishes, all of a sudden, bakit yung medyas mo nandito?
It's so bad. But then it's like, I think it's just, yun nga, naghahanap ng something else na you can pick on.
Yeah.
And then he'll just be like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then he'll find a way to change the topic.
Yeah.
Then my thoughts start changing. I'm like, why is he changing the topic? Am I getting too mean? Am I just picking on him na? And then I'll get guilty na, shucks.
You start internalizing.
Yeah. So, pumapasok na in my head, and then I figure out how to just shut up and let go.
And then move on na.
And move on.
Yeah. I think that's important also. And I think that's why it's a good balance for you both. Because you both know, or he knows, or maybe you also, when to choose your battles.
Yeah.
And let me talk naman from a person who...
Yes?
From failed experiences
Yeah.
naman. Okay. So, I think living in with someone, in my experience, and I think because we're also halfies, we have that, we're able to have I don't know if it's a wider perspective, but a different perspective on viewing living in before marriage, because our parents' culture are more open to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think there are merits to both. I understand the argument on both sides.
Yeah.
But in my experience kasi, and I'm not talking about anyone else's, in my experience lang, living in with someone is the fastest way to get to know the person.
Yep.
Traveling is another.
Yep.
But traveling kasi, alam mo may end date.
Oo eh.
Diba?
Yung tipong pag
3 days
it's
na
over
lang,
na,
makakauwi na ako.
Pwede mo
magtitimpi ka na lang. Yeah.
Mindset ba? Mindset.
Mindset lang. Pero ang hirap mag-mindset pag alam mong pagbukas and until the end of the year, walang takas. Diba? So, you really get to know the person, and it's not about whether a person is bad or good. I think compatibility plays a big part in this. Diba?
Yeah. It's the number one, I think. Because if it's hindi talaga,
yes.
you know.
And kasi, compatibility doesn't mean pareho kayong tao. Like you said, introvert ka, extrovert si Jeff.
Yeah.
You guys are in very, well, not very different industries, but still different, diba? The lifestyles are different. But compatibility in the sense na, ganun nga, alam niya kung kailan ka papatulan, kung kailan hindi. And I think when you are in a situation that you are planning to take the next step with someone, like I was, and I think in every relationship, not everyone, but for me, I don't enter a relationship thinking, pang good time lang to, 3 months and then bye.
Yeah.
There's always that end goal in mind, right?
Of course,
and so if you're thinking long term, you're like, okay, can I handle this for the next 80 years? Or 60 years?
Yes.
And hindi ako magaling sa math, pero guess nyo na yan.
You gotta... It's future planning.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And
so, there are times where you can save yourself from a messier situation by doing that. Because then, ma-realize mo, actually, we don't get along. Actually, sobrang iba namin.
yes.
Diba?
Yes. And in that way, you're able to also know in the next time that you tackle any relationship, and before moving in your next relationship and hoping, syempre naman, no, in the next one, you're hoping this is it.
Yeah.
And like what you were saying, in any person, at least for the both of us,
Yeah.
we're the type of people that hope when we get into a relationship, this will be the next, sorry, sorry,
Matakot ka na.
sorry, Jeff, hindi niya yung meaning ko. I mean, this will be the one that will finally make us say, okay,
Eto na yun.
ito na yun.
Oo.
I'm not gonna look for a next one na. And I will be able to. I hate it because it sounds like you're settling, but I will work with this and on this until I'm gone from this, diba?
Yes. Kasi
So,
it doesn't end when you say I do.
yeah.
Actually, they say the hard work starts.
because talagang girl.
Oo.
Oo, kayo na yun, one na kayo eh. And
Exactly.
paper, every decision there it has to be unified. Yeah.
True. Okay, so let's talk about naman how you handle, kasi we're both in the public eye, but you way more so than me. Inevitably, that comes with nega people, right?
yeah,
Actually, you know
yeah.
what? It's not even our industry. Any industry naman, I'm sure kahit may mga office mate kayo, may mga nega.
Yeah. But and also basta you're posting anything anywhere, as long as it's available for anyone to
Yes.
comment on, there will be someone nega somewhere there.
Yeah.
Oh,
How do you handle it?
I don't.
What does
I
that
don't.
mean?
Like dati.
Do you block? Do you ignore?
I used to block.
Okay.
And I used to respond a lot.
Oh, pumapatol ka before.
Oh, girl.
Like how?
Like sa Twitter noon, may mga
Do you say like, kunwari, when they're like, for example, if they're like, ang pangit ng suot mo, it'd be like, ang ganda mo.
Hindi. Actually, hindi naman. Ako yung mga tipong pa-smart ko, no?
Okay, okay,
ganyan. Pero may, God bless.
Okay.
Ay, yung nakaka-
Wait lang. Actually, ang dami kong napapansin. Minsan yung hihirit na, yung parang pailalim na, ganun ka, pero God bless. Oo,
Ganon.
okay.
Ganon yung mga patol ko noon.
Okay.
And then I think I would choose naman na only kapag family or kapag who I was dating or friends were being berated.
Okay.
But if it was me, parang bihira akong mag-reply. Or usually, I would reply back then because they would say like, nagpa-picture kami sa'yo, pero di ka naman nakangiti or sumimangot ka naman after.
Choosy
And
pa
I'm
sila.
like, I'm sorry. Like, I was sick or I was with family of
Yeah.
my boyfriend. Like, nahiya din ako. Or,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain
Yeah.
because noon, I felt like I had to. So I would reply and think, maybe this would make it better if I explained.
Yeah.
Pero ngayon, parang ayoko na. Parang,
So you just ignore it.
I ignore it. And if it's, ngayon, if I get like, comments on my social media and it'll pertain to the people in the picture then of my post, I'll restrict the person.
Yeah.
I don't block na.
Yeah.
Kasi parang natitrigger yung mga tao sa block.
They'll just make a new account.
Yeah, so I just restrict so they don't know.
Yeah, and basically you're just protecting your mental health or your peace of mind because they can still comment whatever they want, but you just don't have to see it.
Exactly.
And I think that's a smart decision
Yeah.
for anyone, right? Like, if you guys are posting online or, okay, let's say na lang, if it's not social media, like I've been in social settings, like with titas, Christmas parties,
Yeah.
mga family get-together,
Yes.
na parang kakapasok mo pa lang, humihirit na sila.
Ay, ang bilis.
'Di ba?
Oo.
Hindi ka pa nakakaupo, may comment na. O either sa itsura mo,
Ay,
sa
always.
career choice mo,
Oo.
mga
Ay,
ganyan.
Anak, wala ka pa bang ano?
Ganon.
Oo, hindi ka pa rin ano?
Oo.
Ay, tita.
Diba? So like, for example, for me, a lot of it is, wala ka pa ring boyfriend. And then I'm sure for you, dahil ang tagal yun na ni Jeff, hindi pa rin kayo kasal.
Ah, yes.
Diba?
Oh, my
There's
gosh.
always something.
Yeah.
When you get the boyfriend, then the next hear it is,
Hindi pa rin kasal.
Hindi ka kasal. And when you're kasal, wala pa rin
pang
baby.
anak. Ano ba? And when does that stop? Like,
Yeah.
when can I have my own timeline po, tita?
How do you handle, like, titas like that?
I make jokes.
Oh my God, same.
Diba?
But like, paano yung joke mo?
Tita naman. Siyempre, kanya-kanya na muna. Parang I try to make it na joke, pero may konting paturo.
Yes.
Yung parang,
Like-
I hate to say educate
Like setting a
but
boundary,
Yeah.
but in a
in a more
in a nicer way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kasi parang ayoko rin naman that you kind of shut them down because baka it's the way they know na mga musta.
Yes.
Nakasanayan,
Yeah, it's
diba?
also how they grew up.
Oo,
Yeah.
ganun din sila kinamusta noon. So parang yun na lang yung iniisip ko. But before, there was a time and I think I was really, really conscious about my weight and I was so slim. And I would get greeted na, yun yung unang-unang sasabihin
I remember
sa
that
akin,
time.
right?
Yeah,
I
people
think,
were genuinely concerned.
excuse me,
But I think it came from a place of concern kasi.
concerned siya
Yes.
talaga.
Yeah.
And then I would get just so triggered or parang annoyed and I would respond online. Like, I felt like I had to, yun nga, explain.
Defend.
But, like, I just learned to, even now, kasi I still get the same comment till
Yeah.
now. So, what I just learned to do is, yeah, tita, walang diet yan. O, diba? Swerte. So, you know, parang, iniisip ko na lang, you know, when I'm chubby or when I had a bit of weight before, they would make comments then.
Yes.
So, what's the difference? I
You
guess
can't win.
You can't win. So, just own it and be
Yeah.
like, either way, someone's gonna wish they had your body at this point or you wish you had this body at this point. So, just ikaw na lang, own you na lang.
Yeah. Do you think that comes with age?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Like, you get tired then after a while of caring
Yeah.
because then you learn that you're like, okay, it's not protecting my peace. I'm bothering myself because I allow their comments to be bothersome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point na it's your decision what you choose to let affect you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more difficult when you are in the public eye.
Yeah.
And I think in your industry, a lot of women, unfortunately, are also pitted against each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, eh. Oh, even
There's
if
a lot
you're
of
not
that.
competing
Yeah.
with that other actress
Kahit walang
or
connection,
model.
gagawa sila ng issue.
Oo.
And I think it's really sad. I think it's good now that we have conversations like this and people are becoming slowly more and more aware that, wait, I actually don't need to allow this conversation. I don't need to take it, right?
Yep.
But I think in terms of talking about protecting your peace, it really is, yun nga, is same, choosing your battles.
Yeah.
Diba? There are also times where for me growing up, I'm sure you get this a lot too, but you know, growing up, everyone was like, "Oh, Nicole, are you also gonna be a beauty queen because your mom was one?
Yeah.
Or are you also gonna be an actress because she's an actress?"
Yeah.
And all these things, and there's almost a little bit of comparison with your mom also because she's doing this, why aren't you? Or you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's frustrating, but part of me, and I don't know, tell me for you, pero part of me almost wanted to rebel against it and be like, why are you making the decision for me? Like, what if what if that's not the path I want? You know, like, they're like,
And why is the questioning directed in a certain, yun nga, in a certain path na,
Yeah.
in line of someone else's path? I felt that too in a way also. I think we're on the same tangent of feeling because as a young person, you already feel like, dapat ba yun yung gawin ko?
oo, kasi all of a sudden, nagplant na sila ng seed.
Oo.
So, magdududa ka na rin.
Ano,
Na parang,
parang,
dapat ba mag-artista ako?
Oo.
Oo,
may ganun
expected
thoughts.
ba to?
Oo.
So, paano ikaw? Kasi, naging artista ka rin.
Tinuloy ko,
Oo.
girl.
Pinanindigan mo.
Pinanindigan ko.
So, paano?
Well, my story was really because I wanted to start earning. And then I just found my way into liking and loving doing films.
Okay.
I like the process that filmmaking had na very different from TV series.
Okay.
You get to do a lot of pre-production and there's a schedule that you can kind of work around better. You know when you'll start and end because it's not a long time frame.
It's not a series.
Oo.
Yeah.
So I felt more equipped and capable in that section of the industry in comparison to what my experience was so far sa TV. Na akala ko, I'll just finish my TV contract and I'll just focus on film.
Yeah.
But I I still ended up renewing with TV because at the end of the day, you keep certain things in your life to also grow in your craft, and I felt like there was so much unknown for me in kung paano yung TV industry dito because iba din siya,
Yes.
and there are things na na-experience ni ate na hindi ko pa na-experience, and even
But
along
do you
that,
necessarily feel like because she experienced it, you have to?
there are people who make me feel that way,
Okay.
but
So how do you deal with that?
I do not.
Okay.
As in, at first I felt like I was rebelling, like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because they're like, ay, bakit si ate mo hindi ganun?
Mm.
Nung ate mo ka-work namin, hindi siya ganyan. And I'm like, kasi hindi po ako si ate.
Yeah.
Like,
Hindi siya ako. Yeah.
Iba po kasi Jasmine po. Hello po, nice to meet you. But it's hard because syempre, you have to play good and play nice because you're also younger, and then wala ka pang experience sa industry. I don't have the background acting-wise
Yeah.
or training-wise. So, ang dami kong parang I can't rebel yet, or I can't stand up yet, speak up yet.
Do you almost feel like because your sister has such a big name in the industry, do you feel, maybe even subconsciously, that I need to show up at a certain level because no matter what, there's going to be a level of comparison?
Yeah.
So it's different from other people who step into this public arena without any point of comparison because then they're just being judged solely on their own skill merit or skill level or their merit. But with you, there's always gonna be, or even in the beginning when you started, wala ka pang name. You were the sister of ganyan. I was the daughter of
May
ganyan.
level of
Yes.
expectation na.
So, did you ever feel na dapat,
Oo.
I better bring it?
Oh, yeah,
Pag sinabi ni
girl.
Direk, iyak.
Iyak. As
Oh.
in, takot ako noon na parang, shucks, I can't be late.
Yeah.
I can't be kulang sa delivery. Although I know ang dami kong projects na pinagbigyan lang ako talaga ng network ko noon. Like, thank you so much, TV4. But, I felt like you couldn't fail because the predecessor succeeded.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Parang,
Yeah.
ako ba
Parang
yung...
ayaw mo yung, ako yung reason kung bakit
yung family name magsisync with me. I cannot. So, there was so much pressure, and I think that's why I was so happy that I don't know if it was by chance, by skill, whatever, that that award from Cinemalaya came through at such an early stage in my career.
Yeah.
Because I was able to rest on it at an early start.
It gave you the reassurance na actually I'm good as myself.
Meron pala here na
May mababato pala ako.
oo,
Ganon.
na I don't just have to show up because I'm the sister of.
Yeah.
Na I'm showing up because there's a skill here that I can give that's
Yeah.
needed and wanted. So, dun lang siya nag-click for me na parang, okay, you don't need to feel like you have to prove yourself because you're the sister of Anne.
Yeah.
You prove yourself because, girl, you're
Pinasok
making
mo
a name.
to eh.
Pinasok
Yeah.
mo to. You're making a name na.
Yeah.
You're showing up na and people are noticing na. So, pakilala mo ng maayos yung pangalan mo. Nang
Yeah.
ikaw. So, dun lang.
But I think
hindi
also
dami.
let's acknowledge the fact that of course it was easier for us to get in because of that certain
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of privilege.
Super.
Diba? Like you
Oo.
mentioned.
Oo,
I'm sure
girl.
kaya tayo nabigyan ng chance kasi.
Kasi girl.
Oo, kundi sino ka ba?
Uy, te.
Diba?
As in, I'm so grateful din talaga. Kasi, looking back, it's like, who would have given a lead role?
Yeah, it's difficult, but I
newbie.
think it's kind of peeling back a layer that, humanizing you a little bit because a lot of people see, and you are an actress and you don't really share much about your personal life
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so I think it's easy for people to look at you and assume that because conventionally you fit into what is, quote unquote beautiful, what is, or because you have certain family members in the industry, like it's easy to look at you and see, okay, actually her life is so easy. Everything was just handed to her.
Yeah.
And I think the point of why I took that conversation there is one, to show and to have all our listeners to reiterate the point that a lot of these people that we look up to, and we're lucky to be in a position because a lot of them are our friends or we're related to them. Everyone is human and everyone is carrying their own cross to bear.
Yep.
Right? And even if people look at your IG and they see, oh my God, award-winning actress has a beautiful relationship that's, almost a decade long, it's easy to be like, her life was so easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so easy to say that.
It is. And to a certain extent, it is.
Yes.
It is, right?
There's truth in all of what those facts are.
Yes.
Yeah, those are all facts. Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make here is just because she is Jasmine and she is this actress and she has, all of these credentials to her name, don't assume or compare your lives to her. Because I mean, I don't want to share for you because it's not my place to share your struggles online, right?
Yeah.
That is your decision.
Yeah.
But as your friend,
Yeah.
I see the things you struggle with and that you go through that no one knows online.
Yeah.
And also, no one has to know. It's
Yeah.
no one's business.
Yeah.
But the point is, don't compare because also, it's easy for us to compare also.
Super.
You know what I mean?
Oo.
Like, if I wanted to like depress myself, I could also look and be like, she's in an 8-year relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in a happy, loving relationship. Why am I not? She's a best actress award winner. Why am I not? Why? Alam mo yung ganon?
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's everyone has their different struggles.
Yeah.
Right?
And comparing yourself, even if you think it's like, oh, I just wish I could be like this person. No, tread your own journey.
Or sabihin na
Make your
natin,
own
wag na tayo lumayo.
wishes.
We can even say na, rather than comparing yourself to people online or people you look up to, comparing yourself to your family members.
Yeah.
'Di ba merong, hoy, yung kuya mo,
Ano?
attorney na.
Oo.
Ano ginagawa mo sa buhay mo?
Oo.
Yung ate mo, doktor na.
Ay, nako.
Ganyan ka pa rin.
And that's very common in our culture also.
Yes.
Na parang kailangan kapag academe yung isa or ganitong professional yung isa, ganun din yung mga young ones na sumunod na mga kapatid, right? Or
What advice would you give to the listeners who are being compared to either coworkers or their siblings?
honestly, ang hirap kasi I think I'm very lucky that my parents both allowed me to do what I wanted, even if, and never really made me feel like I had to be the same
Yeah.
as my ate. So this is purely out of me and what I felt, because there are instances where I compared myself to my ate.
But
and her
it didn't
career.
come from your family.
It didn't come
It
from
was
my family.
internal.
Internal. Na parang, why can't my career be like hers? Why
Yeah.
doesn't it have that same effect?
Yeah.
Or, that sometimes I used to worry about fan base and
Yeah.
the number of likes, and I would criticize and compare myself, and out of that I've always reminded myself that she started 20 years ahead of me. She had that head start, number one.
Yeah.
This is really what she wanted ever since she was 6 years old, 5 years
Yes.
old. This is her ultimate dream.
Yeah.
I just found myself here by coincidence.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to love it. And we have very different paths.
Yeah.
Magkaiba kami ng ugali and ng gusto from the industry also.
That's true.
So I cannot compare the trajectory of my career to her career because iba din yung gusto ko out of the industry. So siguro na lang sa mga siblings na feel this way because they hear it from parents. For me, it's hard to shut out your parents' comments.
Girl,
and it's hard,
yes,
right?
it is so hard.
As in, especially if you're still living in the same house and
yeah.
under the same roof.
Yung tipong, hindi ka pa nag-almusal, tumatalak na.
Oo, or sila pa rin nagbabayad ng lahat ng bayarin sa bahay, diba? You cannot
Kasi
shut out.
merong bahay ko to. So, kung ayaw mo, lumabas ka.
Oo,
Diba?
o
May
kung
ganon.
gusto mo, mag-decision para sa sarili mo, mag-contribute ka sa grocery.
Tama.
Ang dami na, right? So, paano yung mga ganon? So, I think the best way, obviously, respect pa rin, listen. Listen, take it in, and take it...
Wag mong damdamin.
Wag mong damdamin. Take it with a grain of salt, if you can, because we have to remember kung saan din nanggagaling yung either worry, insecurity, or something else, whatever else is making that feeling in your parents or relatives' minds, say that to you. Kasi hindi siya just because nanliit sila sa'yo. It's because maybe they themselves at some point were worried na
hindi rin sila enough.
Or
pwede ring insecure sila na kunwari yung kapatid nila, yung anak doktor. So, mako-compare, bakit yung anak ko hindi pa engineer or something. So, insecurity nila yon. Diba? So, you have to kind of try to understand where they're coming from. But I also feel like, to a certain extent, understand, pero yun nga, wag mong damdamin in the sense na don't naman spend all your days thinking about where... It's also not your job. It's not your job to kind of analyze everyone.
No.
I think just like you said, take it with a grain of salt. But I think in my experience also, it is so important. You had the support system na in your family. Diba? But what if the cause is the family, right? If it's the parents, in my experience, I would say that you really need to find a support system outside of your family, if it is the family that's causing it. Because there will be days where hindi mo kaya mag-isa. Right? Not every man is an island. And as much as I like to toot my own horn and be like, I'm so strong, I'm so independent, I do everything, it's not. Because like I said, there are times where I'm pilay and I'm wasak and I reach out to you guys and I'm like, girl, please just take me out of town for 3 days and I just need to be alone and away with my thoughts and things like that. Right? So reach out to your support system or your friends and be honest. Be like, guys, ang toxic ng family ko. Like, kailangan ko lang lumabas or whatever. Chances are, because also of our culture, a lot of people will be able to relate.
And probably you're going through the same thing right now. As in, or pinagdaanan na. So baka mabigyan ka pa ng advice or even just a place to stay for the weekend, diba?
Exactly.
Kasi sometimes nga, if it's coming from home then or from relatives, you can't do much. So you just let it be, and you don't wanna, I guess, you don't wanna ruffle more feathers and you don't wanna add more fuel to the fire kasi nga, mainit na or, you know, nag-aalala na masyado. So parang, okay, you just, space ko muna. You know, take your own time and space also to figure it out so that you also don't let go of what you want to do, what your dream is, or what you're trying to pursue in comparison to whoever you're being compared to. Kasi baka sa sobrang focus mo na kino-compare ka doon, you also don't get to maximize whatever it is that you're working on or your goal is that, or whatever, your body, yourself, your mind that you're trying to, I guess, invest in or work on and fulfill for yourself na someone else is taking the joy out of.
I like that.
Right?
Don't let them take the joy out of what you love. And there was a time, let's be honest, when I started vlogging, di pa uso nun. Wala pa, the term influencer didn't.
Vlogging pa.
Aray. Pero there was a time where I had not just family, friends also, or coworkers, and ano ba yan, vlog ka ng vlog, wala namang, they would belittle what I was doing and what I was enjoying. And then, all of a sudden, nakita nila, kumikita na siya.
It's working.
Nasa Fashion Week na. Parang sometimes, tumatalak din sila, and we have a term for this, diba? In our friends or around, when people around us are like that, sometimes we just go, mema lang yan. Mema sabi. So there was a time where a lot of people in my life were mema. Ang dami, mema sabi. Even friends who I'm not close to now, but at that time, they're like, what, are you gonna vlog this too? Mga ganyan. May mga ganong hirit.
Ang sad ng ganon, kasi you're doing something that you want, you
Yeah.
love, and you're making a career out of it. And it's like, are you making a joke out of me?
Wait, can I just say, subtle flex lang. Eventually, nag-vlog na rin sila. Kanino sila lumapit?
Oh!
Kanino
See,
sila humingi ng
diba?
advice? Pero in my mind, di ko na sinabi sa kanila. Actually, humirit ako. Sabi ko, pero nung una, gina-joke-joke niyo ako. Ngayon, gusto niyo ng advice.
Back to you.
Na back to you
Oh,
sila.
diba?
Pero, that only happened after nakikita na nila na may napupuntahan pala. So, sometimes in the start, mema lang yung mga
Yeah.
tao around you. So, wag mong pansinin, especially if you believe in what the goal is or what you're trying to
Yeah.
achieve. And again, even if pareho kayong artista or pareho kayong in the public eye, hindi naman porket pareho kayong public eye, ibig sabihin pareho yung gusto mo. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Like yung mom ko, ginusto niya beauty queen. Okay, beauty queen, public eye pa rin or artista. But ako kasi gusto ko, I like communicating. I've always liked talking to people.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for me. Yes, I actually do enjoy playing roles from time to time because it's like a little form of make-believe.
Yeah.
But what sparks joy in me is getting to know the person behind the screen or behind the job title.
Yeah.
And if that's what sparks joy for you, at the end of the day, it's your journey.
It's your journey, so you have to be happy with your journey.
Yes.
Kasi, diba, parang, otherwise, what is this all for?
Yeah.
Or, why are you trying to make someone else happy with your journey?
Yeah.
It's yours.
Speaking of journey, para this isn't so long naman. Not to toot my own horn. Obviously, this podcast is very new, right? But at the start of the year, because I started working on this in January, and at the start of the year, I told some of my friends na I really want to start a podcast. I've been thinking about it for so long.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh my God, sobrang bagay ka dyan, do it.
Yeah.
But there were a few friends who were like, what? Why would you do that? Like,
really?
they're like, why would you
Why?
do that? Parang, wala lang. In their mind, they're like, a podcast, like, everyone has a podcast na. It's so, in their mind, it's such a saturated market.
Okay. But then,
No, but then this week,
Oh.
yung mga naysayers na yon,
nung nag-number 2 ka na.
nung tumop charts na,
Yes.
oh my God, Nicole, congrats!
Ah!
Siyempre, wala na ako sinabi, but in my mind, there's always gonna be
Yeah, mga ganun.
ganon.
Na tao.
Pero kasi, hindi nila nakikita yung vision mo eh.
Oo. And ikaw lang ang makakakita nun.
Yes.
Ikaw lang talaga. I mean, I think I've seen and read so many mga CEOs or owners of companies that when they started it, diba, what's his, I hate to make him an example, but everyone will know Mark Zuckerberg
Oh, yeah.
as the biggest number one na ganon. No one believed in
No
his
one believed,
idea.
yeah.
Until it worked out and look at it now.
Oo.
So parang, I mean, that guy's journey is such or Apple,
Yes.
Steve
Steve
Jobs,
Jobs.
right? Working in a garage and
So speaking of what you wanted to do nga, like at the start of the year, I said I wanted to make a podcast. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy you are gracing me and giving me the time of day to share a lot of some of our experiences. What naman are you excited for or looking forward to in the next few years? Or like, what is something you want to manifest? It doesn't have to be career-wise. It doesn't have to be achievement. Like, for example, you'd be like, I've always wanted to garden. Whatever it is. Like, what is something you've always wanted to do that just sparks joy for you?
I want to renovate like an old space somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like a dream of mine to, the term is diba flip houses or flip places. So I don't know why. I love watching renovating shows and yung mga, I love mga games that are like interior designing and stuff like that. So I have like apps where I take a photo of the blueprints of my condo, tapos that's how I'll change the layout of
So
my...
you like having a vision come to life?
Yes, but not the way a director would. So,
Yeah.
so
Yours
parang,
is more physical.
yeah,
Like
I
you
have
physically
to,
want, you're like, I want to build this thing.
yes.
Okay.
I like to build. I want to build something
Yeah.
with my own bare hands and feel like I did this, you know.
I get, yeah.
I don't know why.
I get it, yeah.
So that's actually I'm in progress of doing something on doing something about it para
Okay.
magawa ko na siya kasi parang
I
ang
love
tagal
that.
ko nang ang tagal ko na siyang gustong ma-achieve na dream.
And actually, now that we're talking about it, I really like talking about your goals and your dreams with your friends because even if there are some people who will say, ba't mo gagawin niya? Ang mahal niyan.
Ang daming
Ang
nagsabi.
risky.
Oo.
Diba? Like,
But I'm like,
pinaghirapan mo yung pera
gusto
tapos,
ko eh.
oo.
End
But-
of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
End of the day, gusto ko. Oo.
O, tapos wala na sila mag-sabi.
Diba?
Oo.
And then they're
Actually,
like,
yan yung advice.
Diba?
Kung may mema, sagot mo na lang, gusto ko eh.
Money ko.
Oo.
Diba? I mean,
Money ko eh.
not to sound, pero
Oo.
ako gagastos.
Oo.
Card mo. Bank account mo, te? Kasi, kung, pwede rin naman. Okay lang, I'll renovate, pero old. New na lang. You'll spend. So, parang, they get like, hindi. And they'll shut up na lang. Or, yeah. So, that's the best answer.
I'm so excited to see, like, hopefully, even if you don't post it,
Yeah.
for you, invite mo na lang ako.
Oo.
Or for me to see.
Oo
That's really
naman.
exciting. But
Yeah.
I think I want to encourage whoever's listening here, whoever your friends are too, maybe you can take something away from this conversation that for you to encourage or be that word of encourage or the voice of encouragement in your friends.
Yeah.
Diba? Like, I always try to ask my friends, what's exciting you this year? Or like, what do you
Yeah.
want to do next year?
Yeah.
And it's never...
Every time I see you,
Really?
you always ask me that. Yeah.
I love that you'd
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
But for me kasi, I want us all to win together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's fun to experience the joys of life with the people you love. Because at the end of the day, there's the woo-woo way to look at it, and there's also the selfish way to look at it, right? I think it's more fulfilling when you can see you and your loved ones winning in life together. And winning doesn't mean yung pinakamaraming pera.
Oh, no.
It
no.
means just yun nga, your
Where you
happiness.
are,
Yeah.
oo.
But also, kung iisipin mo, pag your friends, everyone's winning, lahat kayo aangat together. It just naturally
Yes.
happens.
You end up
Lahat,
pulling each other
yes,
up.
lahat
Yeah.
nag-aangatan together. And I wanna remind everyone na it's not a competition and you win when your friends win.
Yes.
Because, for example, sa tingin nyo ba makaka 3 days ako sa La Union kung wala silang bahay doon?
Oh, diba?
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 Oh, so na-win din ako.
Oh, diba?
Kasi may natulugan ako for free. Yun
Ganun
din yun.
lang
Dapat
talaga
wise ka
yun.
din. Diba? Oh, gusto mo
Yes.
mag-flip? Go, girl! Kasi may matitiran tayo. Go!
Yes.
Ganon.
Those are the
diba?
wins that you look for.
Exactly.
Oh.
Or kunwari, yung friend mo, gusto maging influencer. Oh, baka ilipad siya sa Hong Kong ng whatever brand. Ako yung plus one mo.
Oh, diba?
Go, picturean
Oh,
kita.
Walang problema.
Go, girl.
Oo.
Diba?
Yeah.
May ganon.
Yeah.
So, parang tulungan.
Tulungan tsaka, it's also, I guess, just adding more to someone's bucket of joy because parang they end up working 10 times harder for it when they know that they've got that support. And not just
Yeah.
like you're happy for someone, but they're like, they feel that, anytime, this person's there for me naman. You know, diba? Iba yung feeling na may
Mas
may backup
lumalakas
ka.
yung loob mo.
Yun.
Actually, that's something, I have a follower recently. Shout out to you, you know who you are. Nag-DM siya sa akin out of nowhere. He goes, you know, Miss Nicole, I noticed ever since you froze your eggs, parang mas lumakas loob mo to go for things.
Aww.
And as in personal DM lang siya, like sabi niya, napansin ko na nung nakita mo na parang your friends had your back and you did one thing for yourself that was just for yourself.
Yeah.
Freezing your eggs is not for anyone.
It's
diba?
yeah.
If anything nga, mas wala naman siyang financial return.
Correct.
Diba?
Yeah.
wala naman siyang award na ibibigay sa'yo ng
Correct.
foreign body.
Oo.
Wala, it's just for you eh.
You.
Pero nung nagawa mo yun for you, biglang, ay, kaya ko pala. And alam mo yun, so mas lumakas yung loob ko.
Ang ganda.
To do the podcast,
Yeah.
to travel,
Yeah.
to take financial risks, like things like that.
Yeah.
So, ganun din for you, 'di ba? You'll be like, oh, gusto ko tong role, go! So, mas lalakas loob mo, okay, go, I'll do it.
Yes, and baon mo yun.
Oo.
Baon mo yun while you're in that journey also.
And kahit hindi siya maging successful, because not everything naman will be
work
successful.
out.
But kahit hindi siya successful, okay lang kasi alam mong, okay lang ako eh.
Oo.
Diba?
I did it with 100%.
Yes.
And I did it with the full support.
Yes.
And it didn't work out, but I come out of it with still the full support.
Yes. May
And-
support ka pa rin.
Oo. Sinubukan mo. You still tried. So,
Okay. Is there anything else you wanna talk about or impart onto our... Okay. Is there anything else you wanna impart? Because I feel like if we keep going, actually kaya natin for sure 2 hours.
pwede. Special episode. Oh.
Ang hirap Ang hirap ng challenge na to. But actually, guys, let us know if you want Jazz and I to do a part 2. And if you do, let us know in the comment section what you want us to discuss next. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, because busy rin si girl, and marami pa kaming gustong pagchikahan off-cam.
Yes.
Diba? Okay. So, is there any final message that you have to our solo flyers out there?
Enjoy solo flying.
Okay.
Because I think there's so much wisdom in enjoying your own company. And when you are able to, for someone like me, I guess that I've been in a relationship since I was 22 with Jeff, or 21. So parang all my 20s now are with him, and there's no regrets there, but there is this curiosity of, I wonder what kind of person, how different would I have become if I was a solo flyer in my 20s.
Yeah.
What kind of journey would have given me more wisdom in certain ways of tackling things or pursuing life. Yan yung mga lakas ng loob, diba? Yung mga ganyang bagay. So, enjoy that journey and impart that wisdom to people like me.
Kumbaga, share nyo yung stories
Share
nyo.
nyo lang story, DM me. Yun talaga.
Yeah.
Wala akong share kasi I feel that, well, yun. I think we can all share our own different wisdom from our own journeys, but I want to know more about what it is that you guys are all experiencing, and
It's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's fun, and I see how much life there is to it as well. So tell
Lubusin
me
nyo
all
na.
about it.
Yeah.
Lubusin nyo and tell me all about it.
Yeah, slide into her DMs and share your stories na.
Yeah.
Kasi-
Para when I have my solo time, feeling solo flying pa rin ako.
Uy,
pero hindi, with Jeff in mind.
Oo, okay.
To be clear.
Just to enjoy. But let's also clarify that this podcast isn't just for single people. It's for everyone. Sometimes, if you just feel alone, like if you're a
Yeah.
solo flyer in life.
Yes. Independent.
You know, if you're
you live
independent,
alone.
whatever it is, right? If you live alone, whatever it is, enjoy the part of life that you're in.
Yes.
Because whatever the next stage is, whatever that looks like for you, you're gonna enjoy that also, but you don't wanna look back and be like, sayang, sana nag-enjoy pa ako. Diba?
What if, diba? At least what you wanted, you got to experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to take the joy for yourself for that moment. Yeah.
I love that. Ang wise mo naman, Jazz. All right, thank you so much, Jazz, for joining the
Thanks,
podcast.
Nat. Thank you.
You guys, I will put all of Jasmine's information if you guys want to follow her, reach out to her, share your stories to her DMs. I will put it all down below in the description. Okay na sana.
Yes, Nicole.
In the description box. Also, if you guys have any topics or guests that you want me to feature, let us know at Solo Flight Podcast on Instagram. This podcast is also available on YouTube if you want to see the full video. And what else? yeah, make sure you guys follow the podcast. And if you can, it would mean a lot if you could leave a review as well. And as usual, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye!